Hello friends, hope all of you are doing well. I am Sanyukta and today we'll be learning another new Zentangle original pattern, and the pattern is called Gnome. Yes, I have posted the pattern, how it looks, and a few suggested strings that we can use to draw the pattern Gnome on my Facebook page also, Sanyukta Zentangle. So Gnome, as the name goes, the complete name is Noom Repus, which is actually super moon spelled backwards because it was launched on a day on the event when it was a super moon. Yeah, so basically the name has no bearing with the way it looks or how it is drawn, just that this was the name selected in that event, and so the name Noom Repus, which is the reverse of super moon. So how do we draw the pattern? Basically we draw a series of S shapes, right? So that's the base or elemental stroke in the pattern Gnome, the S, like this, right? And next what we do is we draw a slanting reverse S kind of a shape joining these two S's like this, right? And then what I'm going to do is just make a small cone kind of thing at the ends, right? Can you see that? Yes, a small weight or cone kind of thing. I'm adding this weight, not exactly rounding, but yeah, making a small cone kind of a shape at the end of these lines. And then I'm going to connect these consecutive S's. So where do I start? I start from the upper part of the next S, right? So this is not exactly half, it is higher than, half. Basically if you cut it into 4 parts, then 1/4. From the 1/4 part I am starting this curve, right? If you still want to have difficulty remembering where, basically it is slanting. If you connect from this other side, it is slanting, right? Again, first half, second, the next is upper part, the upper part, the upper part, the upper part of the S, right? Like this, and then like this. So now you can rotate your tile, right? And then do the same exercise, start somewhere here, right? Now it is easier because these two will be facing each other almost, right? It will be easier now, like this. So this is the pattern Gnome. I'll show you once again how to draw the pattern. Just draw these S shapes like this, right? Then draw these slanting lines, not exactly line, but again a reverse S, connecting these S shapes, and add some weight or cone, make a cone kind of thing at the end of these reverse S like this, and then start from the first half part of the S. If this is the S, I'm starting somewhere here, right? And join with the upper one like this. Can you see the shape that is formed here? Yeah, it's kind of a droplet kind of a shape, something like this, right? Again start from here, then reverse your tile, again start here. Now the second one, when you draw, it's easier because it will be almost facing the first one like this, right? Somewhere close. Yeah, so that's the pattern Gnome. Now how do you play around with the pattern Gnome? It's again up to you how you want to. The first thing is aura. The easiest way is to add auras. This is one aura. If you wish, you can add more auras, right? Now there is also one this place that is created between these gnomes, consecutive, this chain like weaving, you have these spaces created in between, right? So again, use it for some other pattern. So many variations you can create. There is no. The third way is to play with this, right? The divider, right? Just play with this divider. Fourth way is to play with this outer line, right? So many ways. You can add puffs, you can add orbs inside, outside. Let me show you a few tiles. This is one tile wherein I have used Gnome as a border tangle and Marasu inside, right? A small tangulation that I have created by adding this orbs inside, right? This is again Gnome. These are all tiles which are made using the string that I posted on my Facebook page, right? A simple tile using Gnome as a diagonally, and then other tangles, right? And then this is again how, just to give an idea how it will look if you arrange it in a spiral, right? And then other tangles. So I'll be posting these tiles on my page. Let us now start drawing a tile and you would understand better how. So this is also one of the strings that I have posted on my page. So we will be using this string today to draw a tile, right? So I intend to keep this inside two portions empty the way it is, and draw some perk on the outer, section that is created by the string. Draw Gnome here, and let's see which tangle we'll use here, right? So I'm starting right away with this S shapes like this, right? The space is kind of a tricky, so if you wish you can first draw a light pencil outline and then start with Gnome, right? There is no problem because it is not a normal straight line Gnome, right? So it is absolutely not an issue if you want to do that way. And then I connect these by this slanting line, which looks like a reverse S, like this, right? Again like this, right? Adding some weight or making a cone kind of thing at the end, right? So I'll do this exercise both sides at the same time. Again, this slanting S kind of shape, adding some weight at the end. The slanting S, it's a reverse S. Basically we are playing with only one shape, one elemental stroke here, the S. And then, as I showed to you, starting somewhere here, up part of the first S, and then joining like this, like this, like this, and like this. Then again rotate your tile, go back. Now the second one, it's easier, quite easy way to connect because it will be almost parallel to the first place, like this, right? So that's your Gnome. Now start the second one like this, again start here like this, right? Then rotate your tile, again first half of the S. The second ones are never a problem, just facing them like this. So kind of a tricky place to draw your Gnome, but it's okay, right? And now let us move on to our perk. So I'm going to start drawing perk here. So for that we need these dividers like this, right? So these dividing lines like these. So this is also kind of a tricky string in which I am drawing pork, but it's fun. Let us see how it looks. We generally don't draw pork this way, but I thought let us try it. Right? So let us see what happens. So I'm going to start with this orb here and then make these big orbs first, almost in the center, top to bottom, like this, right? Like this. Just keep rotating your tile. Make sure that your hand is comfortable. It's very important to relax and draw, otherwise the whole meaning of Zentangle is lost, right? Then again another one, just going behind. Don't have much space here, so just going behind, right? It would be a good idea to just fill in the small spaces created here. If you can do it simultaneously, nothing bad. Something like this, right? Again one more orb and the third one. Again the small spaces created, right? Kind of a tricky place to draw your pork, but exciting, right? Again I'm just inking the small spaces at the same time. You can do it afterwards also, like this, and like this, right? Then start the other side, right? Like this, like this, then like this, then I say like this, and like this, right? So kind of interesting way to draw the pork. So you can see here I am doing the same exercise on the other side also, adding these orbs inside my pork, right? So just drawing behind a little, not drawing the entire orb. After completely drawing the center ones and a few more, I'm just started to draw behind, right? So we have already learned how to draw the pattern pork. So I'm just following those, completing the pork using drawing behind, right? Like this, like this, like this, like this, small spaces, right? Yeah, so that's our pork. Now what we can do is these small little spaces we can either fill it in, or if you want to do something else, add some tipple or something. I think it would be a good idea to ink it so that the two tangles don't mix up, right? Like this. So wherever small spaces left between the gnome and your pork, it would be a good idea to ink it like this here, and probably here also. You can draw some tipples and all, but triple, not sure if it would be a good idea to draw tipple with perk since they look similar. Right? Here and then here. So just filling up this small sections left in between the perk, because our string is drawn in such a way that we are left with these small sections, right? So just fill it in, right? And then we move on to our third and the fourth section that we have created, right? So I'll do the same exercise in these three sections also, but in this section I am planning to draw the tangle jongle, right? So I'm drawing these lines like this, right, on both the sides, inking my border here because I want the border to be part of my tangle, right? So going to add the pattern jongle here. If you remember, how do we go? Yes, these zigzag lines to start with, and the next ones to run parallel to the one preceding them, right? That's the key. The lines have to run parallel to each other, then only you can get the look. That's the beauty of the grid, right? So I'm drawing these lines. After drawing the first zigzag, the remaining to run parallel to the one above them, right? Like this. Again drawing behind, right, wherever required. Yes, again on the other side, drawn the first zigzag and then just draw lines running parallel to the line above, like this, like this, right, like this. Interesting how simple line work creates such beautiful patterns, isn't it? Right. So just ink this small portion also that is left. And then I'm going to do some inking in my jongle also. As you know, we have to ink the alternate sections, right? So I'm going to do that exercise in my jongle and then get back, right? So you can see here I have almost finished inking my jongle also. The way we ink it, alternate boxes, right? So that's how the jongle looks after inking alternate boxes, square shapes or rectangles, the sections that were formed, right? So now let us come to shading our tile. So I'm now going to start shading and going to add some graphite. At the bottom of these orbs, right, like this, and then some on the inside edge, right, including the inside of my this white section that I've created, like this, right. Again, the bottom of these orbs, right, like this, adding some graphite at the bottom, and then also the inner rim edge, like this, including the inside of the white portion, right. So I'm now going to first blend the bottom like this, right, right, and then blend the graphite that I have put on the edge so that one side of the pork looks darker, the inner side, right, something like this, and then just with a gentle hand smudging the graphite that I have put inside the empty area, like this, right. Again, I'll do the same exercise on the other side. First smudge the graphite that is at the bottom of these orbs, right, like this, and then making the inside of the pork a bit darker, right. You can add some more graphite here just to add some darkness to the inside of the pork, the inner portion, right, something like this, and then with a light hand smudge the graphite that you have put inside the empty section, right, and then just adding some graphite at the outer lines of the gnome, the connecting lines, like this. Again, it is up to you how you want to go about shading. You can also add graphite on this joining lines, looks nice. It is entirely up to you how you want to go about shading it, right. So again, going to smudge this like this, right, so simple shading. On this end you can add a little more graphite, this curve kind of area that is created here, yes, here, right. It is entirely up to you how you want to shade it. There is no hard and fast rule. There are so many ways you can go about doing it. So if you want to highlight the center dividing line, even that is possible. If you have created a tangulation, then it depends on what have you added, right. So just blend it. right? Like this. Again, you might want to add some extra here, right? Just blend it like this. Right? Yeah. Just ensure that you don't make the entire new gray. Yes. And then we know how to shade our jongles. Alternate lines. I've added some graphite. Right? Just blend it. Left one section, then graphite, left one section, then graphite, then again left one section and then graphite, like that, right? Again leave one section, add graphite here, leave one section, add graphite here, leave one section, add graphite here. Again, this is no hard and fast rule. You can add graphite on all these lines, right? That also looks nice. We are not thinking about the light source or reflections while we are shading in Zentangle. It is simple shading. The way it looks good to you, please go ahead, do that, right? Comes more with practice, right? So picking up my white charcoal now and adding some graphite on the sections that I have not added graphite. Here, right, like this, right? Yeah, and then again the same exercise on the jongle other side, adding some graphite on the sections, white charcoal on the sections where I have not added graphite, like this, right? And then the other side of the pork, which is the lighter side, if you wish you can add some white charcoal, right, so that the inside looks darker, like this, right? Just brush off the excess chalk with a different stump, right? Again on the other side, there's a small space here, you can always fill it up like this, right? So again adding some chalk on the upper side where we have not added extra graphite, just to make it look lighter than the inside where we have added some extra graphite, right, like this. Just brush off the excess. So this is the tile using the string, right? I'm now going to initial my tile. Yeah, probably use my 08 and use this black portion to initial, right? Sign and date it. So take a moment to appreciate your tile, right? Such a beautiful pattern, and we'll meet again with another new Zentangle original, right, pattern. See you. Bye bye. Take care.